I wanted to ask you about the state of sponsored content, native bespoke content, sort of the flavors and also the mix between earned and paid and ROI, and just give us a kind of a bird's eye view, would you?
Well, you know, it's interesting what's happening in the overall content world, and if you look at that compared to some similar industries from marketing and advertising. So let's take the sponsorship world in sports and entertainment sponsorship and say, what can you learn from that compared to what's happening with the rest of the content? And if you look at the sports sponsorship world, which we do a lot of work for companies like American Express and all their sponsorship work, United Airlines, Coca-Cola, SAP, Verizon, a sponsorship is a borrowed equity programming where you're borrowing the equity of a team, a celebrity, a league, and you're borrowing their audience and you're trying to connect with them. So if you look at that dynamic and what's happening in content across the board, the learnings that have happened in all the years of sponsorship marketing are very similar to what's happening in the core content business now in sponsored content. And what it is it's not about writing a check and being part of something. It's about, if you're going to borrow that audience, how do you create an idea that actually connects with them? How do you create content and that is not just push messaging, but it is about how you add utility, how you add value to the consumer's life and to their experience. How do you add better experiences?
So Chris, I guess content marketing early on was sort of like you buy a special unit and a special advertorial or a placement or a video or whatever, and that's the real value to the advertiser, and the publisher likes it and so on. But now there's so many screens and the consumption is across so many screens. How does sponsored content scale and how is it consumed across screens?
You know, the interesting part on any type of value exchange, so if you're sponsoring content, the most important thing is to be looking at, okay, how are we actually going to connect with the audience that we want to connect with? And that is whether it is in mobile or whether it is on desktop or whether it's on TV or whether it's a print, is the starting point has to be who is the audience and how are we actually going to connect with them. But the most important part is the connection part. So everybody talks about targeting, and how we're going to deliver to the specific message at the specific moment that I'm thinking about, I'm thirsty, that I'm going to get the right message to go buy a Coca-Cola. The reality is that more than targeting, it's the creative. How are you actually going to deliver a message that somebody cares about at a given time? So I think if I look at the changes that are going to have to happen in this business, and especially because of mobile, is in the creative message that actually matters. And to me, that's about value exchange, that's about experience, that's about how I'm actually helping you as a consumer, as opposed to just giving you a message.
And how about the models for performance and ROI, which are different, right, than the numbers of clicks and page views?
Yeah, I think, you know, Mark Pritchard today at the conference kicked off by saying his number one job is to get growth for his brands, and he can't do that without an agency, and without his agencies. And I think that that's the most important thing that all of us in the agency business remember, is that our number one job as an agent, as an agency, is to help our clients get growth. It's not about viewability, it's not about click-through, it's not about, those are just distractions to what the real game is, which is to drive growth for our clients. And when we get to that conversation and have a consistent conversation of that with our clients, that's when we really succeed.
And finally, the media budget for the stuff that you guys do. I mean, some clients expect, and you certainly delivered earned, but there's a big paid piece. How do you, I know there's no, I don't know if there's really a magic formula, but what's the balance? How does that work?
You know, it's interesting, because so much what we do, we create, and then we use influencer audiences to get a broader reach, to amplify it. But the interesting part about that is it's what's new, what's old is new again, or what's new is old again. I mean, it's the same model. So in order to guarantee the earned reach, there has to be a buy as part of it. So things don't go viral just simply to go viral. You have to look at how you use audiences and influencer audiences to help expand and amplify your message. And that is a value exchange typically that is money.